Are you crazy, old man?
Son, settle down. This is Obi-Wan.
Oh, I know exactly who this is. Do you have any idea what you're doing that? You send me off-world on some stupid business trip while you bring in a space wizard to placate your fantasies of overthrowing the government? Or have you gone mad?
Son, I knew you wouldn't agree, but I had to.
Had to do what? You're throwing away everything you've built to go up against a tyrant.
Excuse me, but I believe
Shut up!
The three let emotions cool down for a moment, until Kento finally says it.
Obi-Wan, meet your brother, Edoji.
The two men nod at each other. It becomes abundantly clear that Edoji doesn't want Obi-Wan here. He is against this whole plan for a long list of reasons. Edo explains to him that their father told him his plan several years ago, and he was against it from the beginning. Edo is no friend of the Empire, but he has become a pacifist. He believes there is nothing they can do and nothing to be gained by fighting. He believes the best course of action is to remain compliant, collect profit, and the storm will pass. The Empire will either spread itself too thin and collapse, or another will come through and overthrow the government, but to not take personal risk. Kento reinforces the idea that we can't wait for others, that we need to take action ourselves. The three men bicker about the merits of their efforts, but none come up with solutions. Kento has the last word.
Son, I know you don't believe in this, but believe in what's possible. Believe in the Force.
The Force. You believe in a power so feebly understood that only a handful could ever wield it. You don't even understand it yourself.
But I do.
Edoji looks at Obi-Wan.
The Force brought your brother here, son. It's all part of its will, part of its plan.
Its plan or yours?
The men take in Edo's words.
You both believe in the impossible?
And with those words, Obi-Wan outstretches his hand. A statue rises into the air. It strains him, but he can hold it up. Edo watches his brother perform the impossible. Obi-Wan sets it down gently and looks at his brother sincerely.
Edo, I don't pretend to know you. I don't pretend to know how this will all play out. But our father is right. We have to try.
I won't stand in your way. But just know, if this all goes bad, I'll be the first one to tell you both I told you so.
Noted?
Noted.
Edo storms off. Kento and Obi-Wan watch.
Give him time, Obi-Wan. He is just scared. This life in the shipyards is all he has ever known. Peace is so distant a word to him, it might as well be in another tongue.
The following night, Obi-Wan prepares for his next lesson. Combat.
Good evening, everyone. We strive for peace, balance. But in life there are forces that strive to disrupt that balance, to take, to corrupt, to cheat, to harm others for no other reason other than to better their position. In these moments, you will be tested. Do you run, do you submit, or do you fight? Now, it is perfectly understandable to run from a superior enemy. But what I am going to teach you tonight is that when the Force is your ally, there is no superior enemy. You, what is your name?
Moshe, sir.
Nice to meet you, Moshe. When did you first start to feel your connection? When did you start to feel different?
Moshe looks down, contemplating.
When I realized I could move faster than the other kids in my village.
Good. Today we are going to test those reflexes.
Sir?
Moshe, try to hit me, as fast as you can.
The boy sheepishly moves to the center.
Do not be afraid. Just do your best.
The pair square off and begin. Obi-Wan dodges and moves gracefully as Moshe stumbles and loses balance trying to hit him. He fails over and over. No matter how hard Moshe tries, he cannot even get a hand on Obi-Wan, and finally Moshe falls to the ground and gets frustrated. Obi-Wan congratulates him on the effort.
What can we learn from what you saw?
That Moshe doesn't know what he's doing.
The kids chuckle. Obi-Wan remains composed.
That may be true, but neither do you. Confidence comes from the knowledge of success, which comes from repetition, both of success and failures. And repetition comes from practicing things you do not yet know.
He instructs Moshe to move slower this time. Obi-Wan demonstrates while the pair move.
The conclusion of every contact point, every move of the body is the beginning of the next, and the next, and the next. With time, you will be able to see them and be prepared. With the Force, you will begin to anticipate them and see them before they happen. One move after the next and the next. Every blaster, every fist, every lightsaber has motions that can be exploited. Now, before we begin, does anybody else wish to try?
A hand goes up in the crowd.
I'll try.
It's Galen. Reva glares at him furiously. They are trying to keep a low profile.
Very good. Step into the center. What's your name?
Galen, sir.
Galen. And have you had any combat training?
He nods his head, ready to pounce.
You have a lot of aggression in you, young Galen. Be mindful.
He nods again. The kids wait in anticipation.
Begin.
Galen comes out aggressive, fast, but telegraphing his movements. Obi-Wan can see them coming, but he is impressed by his speed and strength.
Staff!
A kid throws him a wooden boa staff. He makes some advances on Obi-Wan, but he dodges them. Obi-Wan Force pulls a staff to himself. The two begin to make contact. It's quick, intricate, but unrefined. Galen is all power and no precision. Obi-Wan takes a step back.
What?
Nothing. You just remind me of someone.
The pair continue. Obi-Wan can see that Galen is losing control and decides to end the fight. Within 3 moves, he knocks the staff out of Galen's hand and kicks him to his knees. He is beaten. Obi-Wan offers him a hand up. He accepts. Obi-Wan nods, sweating, breathing hard.
You are a talented fighter, young Galen, but you are aggressive, overeager, powerful, but without precision. Clear your mind. Don't think, feel, find your center, and nobody will be able to knock you out of it. Now everyone pair up. We're going to go through sparring techniques. Cal, you take this group here and I will take these ones here.
The group begins their sparring session. A montage unfolds. Days turn into weeks, which then turn into months. The group's abilities grow quickly. Despite his reservations, Obi-Wan is a good teacher. Cal assists with some of the students who are struggling while Obi-Wan nurtures the more gifted. Reva and Galen do everything in their power to underplay their expertise, but Obi-Wan senses their gifts. They can't help but be noticed. Obi-Wan takes them under his wing and mentors them. He knows that Reva is powerful, but that she is holding back.
Reva, you have strength. You have power. You do not need rage. You do not need fury. These things make you stronger, yes, but they also cloud your focus to where you can only see what is in front of you. You lose sight of the rest of the picture.
So what should I do with those feelings?
You need to learn to control them so that they don't control you. Let go of them.
He puts her through an exercise where she takes on multiple opponents and succeeds because she is able to engage the entire field without fury. The lessons continue. Galen and Reva nod to one another. Oddly, these techniques are adding to their understanding and strength. They see glimmers of what made Kenobi such a formidable Jedi. They watch as he demonstrates. They notice small nuances that look similar to Vader's techniques, but more graceful, balanced. Obi-Wan pushes the group hard. During the day, they are little more than slave labor, but at night, they feel like warriors. Moshe has also shown great promise. Kento believes that the band of students are ready. Obi-Wan does not. But the pair must have the hard conversation nevertheless. After a hard day of training, Kento speaks with Obi-Wan privately.
They look good.
They still have much to learn.
I think they are ready.
Absolutely not.
I've gotten word that the Empire is transporting a massive shipment of kyber crystal from Jeddah very, very soon. They are scouring the galaxy for it. Nobody knows exactly why, but if the cargo were to go missing, it could prove quite disruptive to their efforts.
I said no, Kento.
Nevertheless, the window is closing. We may not have the luxury of saying no.
The pair begin to quarrel. Obi-Wan lists out all of the ways that things could go wrong, how they could be killed, captured, or worse, made instruments of the Empire.
I will not put them out into the field.
Obi-Wan, we have a chance to hurt them. The Empire is tightening the noose. We may not get another chance like this.
They are not ready.
We are never ready for the trials of our lives, but we must meet them all the same.
Obi-Wan erupts.
These are children!
This is war! Would you have them work with a yoke around their neck for the rest of their lives, or give them a chance to fight?
I said no.
Obi-Wan turns his back to look out his balcony. Kento takes a gentler posture. He is ready to listen to his son.
Do you know what scares me the most?
Kento listens.
That it's all my fault. That I am chosen to be the failure, the fool, the Jedi who couldn't see, or didn't want to. It all could have been prevented if I wasn't blind. That's what I truly fear. Being blind again.
Obi-Wan, you are not responsible for the evils of others.
Perhaps not. But what is said of men that see warnings and do nothing?
I guess I would tell that man that no amount of time filled with regret in a cave helps anyone, especially the one who resides there.
The men stare at each other for a long time, letting go of past resentments and paths not taken. They embrace as father and son for what feels like the first time.
Obi-Wan, I know they may not be ready, but the truth is, nobody is. Eventually, action needs to be taken.
Obi-Wan knows his father is right. He nods and agrees.
Okay then, in the morning we begin. The first thing we need to secure is a place to keep these kids safe once we get them out of here.
Obi-Wan's mind points toward an old friend. He hesitates, but then says,
I may have an idea for that.